Yalova needs 8 for a title. Bang!
There's the emotion.
There it is.
Boom! Jordan Richard.
Champion again.
Thunderbolt Arena, Thunderbolt Lanes continues to be the home of Tour Championship Week in 2024. And another opportunity for one player certainly to win another title. One player in particular could win their first, and her name is Melanie McDaniel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Emil Williams Jr. We'll be joined by a special guest here shortly. It is the 2024 PWBA Pepsi Open Stepladder Finals, and what a final field we do have. I mentioned Melanie McDaniel. She is making her second Stepladder Finals appearance on the national tour. She will open up against 5-time champion Brianna Cote. The number 3 seed is Jordan Richard. Not quite a home game for Jordan today, but an hour away representing Tipton, Michigan. The Michigan native, of course. Her family is here. Jordan is ready to win tonight. The number 2 seed, of course, is Jillian Mard, the USBC Queens champion from this season. Another player, of course, the youngest to win the Queens, the youngest to win a PWBA event. And the number 1 seed, Stephanie Zavala, 1541 yesterday in qualifying. As we get you out to the lanes, Cote versus McDaniel, and that starts right now. And Brianna Cote off the top rope with all 10 down to start the show here. Cecil Scarborough handling talent stats for us, so we appreciate Cecil. Patrick Martinez on the 1s and 2s, and as I mentioned, special guests on the way here shortly. Melanie McDaniel had to hold off Dasha Kovalova late in match play. She advanced at plus 623. She's thrown urethane for the majority of this event, and she starts with the purple hammer. And a little lazy 10 for the first shot for Melanie McDaniel from Joliet, Illinois. Melanie, 34 years old, making her second against stepladder appearance. The first was at last year's Bowl TV Classic during the Grand Rapids Classic Series. So Melanie is now 2 for 2, right? 2 for 2 in the state of Michigan. So right now for Melanie, if there's a show in this state and she bowls, she's going to make it based on what has taken place thus far. It's a good opening shot for Melanie. Went to Alabama A&M, where she started as a collegiate player, 3-time All-American. Second frame. Bang. Great shots for Melanie. Spare strike. And as we welcome in our special guest in an emergency situation, which I very appreciate, thank you so much. We welcome in Felicia Wong.
Hi, everybody.
Felicia, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. We're here.
We are here.
This is good.
We are here, and somebody's about to win a title today. Cote with a double. For Bree, of course, now the only player to make both shows so far this week. 2 for 2 in that department. The 38-year-old, of course, from Tucson, Arizona. Now living in Marana's just outside of Tucson. 9-time Team USA member.
You know, what was interesting bowling beside her in the event yesterday was she's using a reality check for both events. And this one was just drilled a little bit differently to get her a smoother shape. But that ball seems to match up really well here.
Good shot, 9-pin. Again, hello to all in the chat. Great point. I knew this synergy would work because Bree told me that she added a reality check when I asked her about what bowling ball she was going to throw. In fact, she told me because she knew what question I was going to ask, or at least one of them. And she said, I added another reality check, just to let you know. I'm like, well, okay, that's exactly what I needed to know.
You know, and that is her go-to ball of choice. Oh, a little skinny, but we got it, we got it.
Skinny jeans. Early 9-pin deficit for Melanie McDaniel. Single pin earlier.
Push.
And you saw her get that left hand moving push ball.
That is a good break, but also a benefit of using that urethane ball, right? It's not going to check up too early off the spot. Going to get a nice rounded shape.
You often throw a little bit of urethane when the pattern suggests. What's the for you? How does urethane kind of fit in your game, into your arsenal? Good spare from Melly.
Good spare, good spare. You know, for me, it creates early read, control the ball, control the back end reaction. So, especially on a 38-foot pattern, when things can get really quick off the spot, when the ball motion gets too angular, and you want something to smooth it out and just control the pocket, urethane's great for that, which Melanie is using really, really effectively this event.
Melanie almost used the purple hammer exclusively. If she does not use urethane, she's definitely going to be in an obsession tour. Getting out on the lane, and another 10-pin. How much is it for Melanie Felicia, in your opinion? Just does she have to manage that front part of the lane? And she's getting it out on the lane, almost a little bit of loft.
And she naturally has some loft built into her game. Your question was, how much does she have to manage the front to back? Honestly, it looks like the ball's been doing that all for her. So she doesn't have to do a lot if she can trust what she's seeing and let the ball do the work. She's gonna be okay.
Cote about to step up with a 10-pin advantage. Scores from match play on your screen, and give it a look. Again, Stephanie Zavala, your number 1 seed. Jillian Martin, the number 2 seed. Jordan Richard awaiting the winner of this opening match. And no messenger. For Cote, had a few good moments, actually several, but the difference in match play between this event and our first event this week, the Greater Detroit Open, she just went 6-6, and so just had the difficulty of winning matches, but obviously did more than enough, and it got to a point where there were 4 players kind of jockeying for position, really for the final 2 spots. Cote with that lead moves over to the left lane. FYI, folks, we will have 2 bowling ball giveaways again tonight, courtesy of Brunswick and Storm. One of them will take place following this match, so get ready for that. Cote. Fifth frame. And some extra love on the 7-pin.
Gets that light mixer The ball's looking just a little bit too long. It looks like it needs to roll a little sooner to get closer to the pocket.
Comes Melanie. By the way, folks, just above Melanie's left shoulder, who many believe to be certainly a GOAT, the Professional Bowlers Association.
Be hard to disagree with that
That
one.
is Walter Ray Williams Jr. That is him, in the flesh, taking in a step-ladder finals here at the Pepsi Open. McDaniel.
Close. Good shot. That 10 pin's getting a little tricky for both players here.
If this was you, Felicia, and you are having this reaction, what's the battle mentally to say either, all right, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm looking for, I just got to allow it to develop to get me there, or I got to get out of it quickly?
You know, and good spare by Melanie also. Given that no player does seem to have the front five, right? So everyone's in the pocket. It changes your mindset a little bit. You don't have to chase so hard. You don't need to press to get pins. So depending on what Melanie's been doing all week, right, what's been working for the adjustments, if you wanted to get it to roll up a little bit sooner, maybe you just move a bit more right into the friction.
I think this frame will be kind of telling, even though Cote, right, not crushing him yet, but it's got a chance.
Yeah,
There it is.
Great shot. Sometimes it's just a feel move. You don't have to do anything physically consciously. You can just say, oh, I want it a little bit softer. Now you can soften up your speed and get a similar effect.
Cote now stepping up with a 10-pin lead, but that was a huge shot for McDaniel. Trying to double for the second time this game. And that 10-pin continues to be the difference here. This is kind of similar. Obviously, Sherry Tan was left-handed, but the match with Sherry Tan and Brianna Cote 2 nights ago was essentially a battle of corner pins. And the first to carry a couple ultimately was the one who won the match. Bree ended up leaving a 7-10 in that, which proved to be the difference for her in that sense, too.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of an adjustment she makes, whether that be a hand adjustment or it's pretty risky at this point to make a ball change, right? That's one of the riskiest adjustments you could make. So maybe that's just a hand change, a speed change.
The other night we were talking about 6 pins being pretty kind and taking care of 10 pins at that time. You saw how close it was to making contact and decided to just bypass it completely. It's ridiculous. I still don't understand how these things happen in our sport.
Oh, you know, and when I'm coaching youth kids, because I'm trying to explain everything, I'm like, hey, I'm also trying to help them take some of the emotional response out of it, right? So I'm like, hey, it's just physics, but they don't like that when you say it. So.
I probably wouldn't like it either.
I didn't think so.
Big shot here.
Hey,
Bang.
that's a great shot.
And you see the difference. High flush. Deficit remains at the moment 10 for Melanie McDaniel. Can she find a double here? Bang, there it is. Melanie McDaniel, that's a huge double. Now we've got ourselves an even match. What'd you see there, Felicia?
Look, the ball just hits the friction right off, bumps it, rolls at the right spot.
shot of utter importance. An even match at the moment. On the lane. Bang!
Good shot.
McDaniel strikes again.
You know, it's nice to see her smiling. She looks really comfortable. She's just making her shot. She's got her head down in between shots, writing her own notes. And it's so important to stay in your own headspace.
And a lead change, of course, for McDaniel with the advantage momentarily. But the max scores are the same at the moment, 248. Cote has struck once at this point on the right lane, and she is going to finish on this lane.
Oh, looks like she gets the light mixer there. Well, not really a light mixer, but comes up just enough to kick out that 10 pin this time. Bree that's one of her biggest strengths, is being able to get gritty and create ball motion.
How difficult is that to do, to create ball motion when you've got maybe what seems like absolutely nothing?
Honestly, I didn't even know it was possible, but Bree shows me every time that it is.
Cote, that's right. Oh, my. Man, trouble in the 9th frame.
Just got a bit wider than she was playing on that previous shot. That is an unfriendly leave at this point in the match.
2, 4, 6, 10. Got to go at it. And it was right, of course, going toward the 2 pin, and she knew it as soon as she let it go. So no real chance at making that. And now McDaniel, you see that replay there. Melanie was the number 2 seed the last time she was on a show. Again, Bowl TV Classic in Grand Rapids, Michigan last season. Finished 3rd. And now the chance to win the opening match. We'll get into the additional scenarios that also carry with McDaniel. Got to stay out of trouble. There it is. Mel Mac, as she is often known in the Bowl TV chat. What a shot there, Felicia. She looks like, for someone obviously who's just making a second show, we talked about this with when Ashley Galante made the show a couple nights ago, just about players who don't have a lot of experience in this moment, which you know a lot about, of course, in step ladders.
Yeah.
But performing and looking certainly like they know what's happening. Good count here. 8 pins. How about 10?
Wow, good
and
shot.
Melanie McDaniel is on to match number 2 tonight.
You know, and if we think back to the show that Melanie made last year, she was quite nervous. You could see she was a bit unsettled, and it's so important in those moments to learn from the hard times, right? It's your first time there. Give yourself a lot of grace, but then take some time to see, what did I need and how can I come back stronger the next time? And
I got to give her a ton of credit, right? Because I asked you, you know, maybe what the mindset is. How difficult is it to say, boy, I'm leaving a lot of 10 pins. I'm throwing urethane. It's easy for me to quickly make this jump. Now, somebody like me would have jumped well in the water. I'm like, I'm out.
press that panic button.
But someone, obviously, the patience level that you have to have in this game, in this sport, because it changes literally frame to frame.
And it's so important to listen to your gut. That is, you know, we can think through any of our adjustments ad nauseum. There's so many options that we can have and what we can do. And in this situation where it's do or die, you only have one match, you only have 10 frames, it's really hard to commit to a ball change or the things that you need. And that's what Liz Johnson was really great at, is making a ball change in the 10th frame and just smashing the pocket. So
Cote made her third show. This was her third show of the season. And the 2021 PWBA Player of the Year. I know she is a little bit upset, certainly. Quick shout out to the Cote family. Parents, certainly. Husband Randy. Friend Sarah and company. Not the end of the line here for Cote. Of course, she will be competing in the Tour Championship, which begins tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Eastern. But this match belongs to Melanie McDaniel, 237 to 210.
We're going to bring over our remaining finalists for a few warm-up shots on our championship pair. And then we have McDaniel versus Richard, who advances to the
It is McDaniel. It is Richard. That's the next matchup coming. But first, a word from Lane Talk, a valuable USBC Gold partner. Stop by lanetalk.com to find live scoring links in centers across the U.S. and all the latest products to help you track your scores and improve your game. That is Lane Talk. On the other side, our first giveaway of the night, brought to you in part by Brunswick. More on the way. You're watching the 2024 PWBA Pepsi Open Stepladder Finals live on Bowl TV.
Got some exciting news.
We now have a pro subscription
for bowlers who really want to take their game to the next level.
The biggest thing, you can tag and label each game.
Whenever you use a ball, whatever oil pattern that you're on,
You can now track the ball's performance and compare balls side by side.
it is incredibly powerful and it is going to help you analyze your game.
Try Lane Talk Pro free for 1 month. Upgrading the app, and we'll see you on Lane Talk.
Thunderbolt, the stars are in the building tonight. Would like to recognize bowling legend and Hall of Famer, Mr. Walter Way Williams.
All right, welcome back inside the booth here. Emil Williams Jr. joined by Felicia Wong. And Felicia, obviously a great match. We just talked about Melanie's patience in this sense. Of course, she's going to continue to throw urethane. That we know. That has been her game plan throughout the day. Now she is going to face, of course, Jordan Richard. I talked to Jordan, I knew, and she said she was going to be certainly further left than Melanie. In fact, everybody's probably going to be further left, all things considered, than where Melanie is playing. We've watched Jordan certainly a long time. She's got the family element tonight, perhaps working in her favor, the comforting feeling, as she told me. In your opinion, what do you think Jordan simply has to do? Because if Melanie her look gets better, it's going to be trouble certainly for the opponent. So what does Jordan have to do, you think?
Jordan's pretty great at playing her own game, right? She knows what to do for her game and what matches up well. The extra comfort level of being in your home center, like maybe not home center, but
Right.
you've grown up here,
Sure.
you have all your family. It just provides you a little bit of ability to just relax and lean in, and she's no stranger to this. So
Relaxing certainly is key. As our giveaway, is our giveaway underway? It is underway, folks. I got to refresh my own screen there. Our giveaway is underway. Please submit your entry, please. If you're out of full screen, hurry up and get out of full screen. That way you can see all of the lower third prompts, but click submit entry. I'm going to be like a viewer. I never saw the submit entry opportunity here, so clearly I'm out. I can't submit my entry, Patrick Martinez. This is, I don't like this. Yes, that's right. Excellent. Excellent move. As we go full screen now to 33 and 34, I see the final conversations taking place between Jordan Richard and Team Storm. And Jay Rich looks like she is about ready. And I think she's getting the final instructions from Damon Sirocco, our tournament director. It looks like Tina won the Bowl TV giveaway. Congratulations, Tina. You have got yourself a Brunswick bowling ball of choice. Again, Brunswick, the leader in bowling balls, shoes, equipment, and apparel. Find out the latest products, promotions, and news from Brunswick, and shop online at brunswickbowling.com or through your local pro shop today. Again, that is Brunswick. All right, as Patrick mentioned to us, looks like she does have a couple of additional shots, so she took that break to discuss maybe some last-minute strategy or perhaps throwing a different ball just to see what that's going to look like prior to the start of the match.
it does look like she threw two different balls in her practice shots, like maybe the RSTX2 and the DNA coil. See what she ends up choosing.
It's a hard choice, looks like.
It's a hard choice. And actually, sometimes, when you're striking a lot with both bowling balls, you can get a little bit confused at which one to pick. But again, Jordan, not being a stranger to this environment, she knows what to do.
Yeah, and she did say, let me go to my notes. Melanie is going to start the match on the left lane. Jordan said she was either going to be in the RSTX2, which she did throw. That's the purple ball. DNA coil, which was the last three shots that she threw. And she said maybe the Summit Ascent if necessary, perhaps.
Oh, interesting.
24, ladies, who is going to advance to our semifinal here at the PWBA Pepsi Open? Let's give these ladies a round of applause. Looks like McDaniel's going to get us started.
Tina is certainly thankful for winning that giveaway, so shout out to Tina. By the way, Tina, you should be on the lookout from an email from the Bowl TV marketing squad. They will email you, so make sure you check your junk or spam folders within the next 2 weeks. Give it about 7 to 14 business days. If you don't hear from them during that time or after that time, make sure you reach out to marketing@bowl.com. Match 2, McDaniel starts.
Well, that gets a little bit wider than the previous shots.
And is that simply the difference there? A little bit further right, maybe gets hung up a little bit.
And maybe a little bit later down the lane, so it didn't have enough time to make it back to hit a fuller pucker shot.
Maybe bounce. All right, early open, but that's a good spot, certainly, for an open frame. As we see Jordan Richard for the first time here, making her third show of the season. Last year's Player of the Year. Jordan has finished fourth, Twin Cities to open up the season, and then the runner-up to Lauren Russo at the Southern Indiana Open. First shot for Jay Rich. And that 7 was a little lazy before falling, and just the 10 pin. Nice opening shot for Jordan. Here's the replay. Anything stand out to you there, Felicia?
Looks like it's just a little slow to respond off the spot. So got a little bit, needs a little bit more angle to the pocket.
On the season, 5 top 10 finishes for Jordan Richard. This will be her 3rd top 5. She too, of course, will be bowling continuously here at the Tour Championship, as will Felicia Wong. She had to wait it out a little bit. We'll talk about that here in just a second. Frame 2 for Jordan. Better shot.
Better shot.
Better results. Excellent shot there by Jordan Richard, as we'll see Melanie McDaniel here. So I just talked about Jordan, and she's going to be bowling, of course, again, or continue to be bowling during the Tour Championship. Watch that one go right through the pins the way it's supposed to. Felicia Wong had a little bit of a wait and see through today's match play rounds.
There were certainly a few scenarios that could have potentially led me off the Tour Championships. Hey, all right, that's still a little late into the pocket, but got that light shaker. That's a good urethane hit.
So, in addition to, of course, Melanie making this show, right? She had to do that to have a chance to continue her season. Melanie must win. As we take a look at that replay, that one was definitely right at 5. That looked like about 3. So again, McDaniel has to win the tournament tonight to bowl the Tour Championship beginning tomorrow. And 9-pin.
Oh, that looked like it got a little bit left, came in high in the pocket. Maybe she made an adjustment after that 7-10. It's a little bit of a trick with the urethane. It can get a bit finicky if it's not reading in the right spot.
Spare hander for Melmac. The other side to that coin, of course, is if Melanie does win, then she's in by virtue of winning a title. Champions this season earn an automatic spot in the Tour Championship. Doesn't matter when it happens, but you get that spot. That would mean whoever's in 24th at the present moment would then fall out, and that person's Julia Bond, who is also anxiously watching. She is here to watch Jillian Martin perform tonight. Oh, wow.
That's interesting. That got pretty wide of her last shot there. Fortunate to leave just a 4-pin. Looks like some pretty good matchup for Jordan.
Richard, the 2018 PWBA Rookie of the Year. She has won both of their postseason awards, if you will, within a 5-year span, which, if you knew anything about Jordan Richard prior to her coming out to the PWBA Tour, you would say, yeah, about 5 years, win Rookie of the Year, win Player of the Year, sounds about right. Like, you probably have that on your bingo card.
I think the shocker is Jordan Richard coming out in 2018, missing the first 3 events.
You are
and
correct.
Still winning Rookie of the Year, giving her a chance to win Player of the Year.
And won a title.
Yes.
And made every show in the month of August.
Did she not win 3 titles that year? No, maybe just 1.
I think it was just 1, but she
Okay.
but she made almost every show. So she had the chance to do so.
Chance. That one just gives a bit flat again. Went a little bit further right, leaving her a flat 10-pin.
Richard had a 10-pin advantage. Neither player has doubled to this point. Again, Julia Bond currently holding down the 24th spot. Felicia Wong essentially was, yeah, right now you're 23rd, but you could be 22nd, right? But you're no less, or sorry, no worse than 23rd. You're in. You're good. If Melanie wins, you just fall down 1 spot, but it has no bearing on anything else because The pins don't follow. There's no pins attached to the Tour Championship, and everyone starts from 0.
Mm-hmm.
What's it feel like just to breathe a sigh of relief right there for you?
You know, when I got the email confirmation today, I had not really processed it. Good shot from Melanie there. It looks like her ball motion on the right lane's pretty locked in. We'll see if she adjusts on the left lane after that 9-pin or just makes a speed adjustment. Seeing the replay up here. Yeah, the ball's rolling just at the right spot down lane.
Melanie could be the first to double here. The loft. Big bang. McDaniel. Big time double. Her open, of course, the pocket 710 in frame 1.
It looks like Jordan's going to make a ball change here. Let's see if we get that 10-pin out with this RST X2 versus the DNA coil. The X2 tends to be a little bit more angular depending on how you drill it, but both pretty strong pearl ASINs.
Really good shot there. You see the reaction. Pin carry. Again, these were 2 balls that she was confident that she might be throwing. And just right at that tracer, first tracer down lane.
It actually still looked a little bit too smooth down lane for that shot. We'll see if she makes an adjustment here or if this lane's playing it a little bit quicker response.
Big shot here.
Got a little further out to the right. Seems to be the right choice.
It feels like, or at least it seemed like, I should say, that when she threw the DNA coil in the left lane, it did start to face up a little sooner early and hit like she wanted to. Similar situation there, of course. If it is simply just an item in the physical game for Jordan just to focus in on, then certainly by all intents and purposes, she might be exactly where she needs to be.
I would agree.
Meanwhile, McDaniel trailing by 10. Looking for another. There.
That is pretty exceptional ball motion.
That's right, Melanie. Talk to that 8-pin. Tell him where to go.
It's pretty friendly. It's being friendly.
Back to even on the latest of late 8-pins. And we've seen our fair share today. Certainly not in the step ladder yet, but across match play, or not 2 rounds of it.
And I would say we've also seen our fair share of 710s on this pattern compared to the first event.
To take the lead. Indeed.
What an incredible shot by Melanie there.
Phenomenal bowling thus far. Alyssa Kammerer, Kayleen Bishop, Dana File, Carlene Byer taking up the 4 spots just behind lanes, essentially between 32 and 33. 4 really good individuals, friends for Melanie McDaniel. Now to Jordan. Back up trailing now by 10. And a great ball change indeed.
Yeah, I was wondering if that got a little further right down lane. Obviously gave her what she needed on that shot. So
with Jordan, she throws it so good and has for so long. Minor adjustments, it looked like maybe a small move with the feet there. To the right. Again, from Tipton, Michigan, 1 hour away. from where we are here in Allen Park, Michigan.
She did not like that one off her hand. Stood up pretty quickly.
And dodged the split there. It was moving toward the 4-7-9. So take the makeable spare, certainly the 4-7. Count, of course, changes things. Now trailing by 2 is Richard at the moment. Again, having family here, more comforting than anything for Jordan, but they've been here all week. And typically, you see family members from the Richard family at shows, but of course with the proximity, Haley's been here with the new bundle of joy. Sister Kara, like everybody has been here for Jay Rich. Meanwhile, for Melanie, husband Ryan was screaming at the golf course. He might still be screaming here.
A little bit of a flat 10 there for Melanie. The 6-pin just goes in front. Wanted to hit it.
This one is definitely going to come down to the final frame. In our opening match, Melanie defeated Brianna Cote 237-210. If you're just joining us, this is match 2. My name is Emil Williams Jr., joined by Felicia Wong, USBC Queens finalist was Felicia, making her first national tour telecast. And now making her first national tour booth appearance.
That's right. You know, the nerves are different, but the same.
I appreciate you stepping in last minute. Thank you.
When you're bowling, you've trained for this. You know it. So even when you're nervous, you know, okay, I've done that before. When you're in a TV booth and people are watching you, it's quite different.
A push ball.
Oh.
Oh, boy. That one read and read quickly. 3-6 there for Melanie.
Also fortunate to just leave the 3-6 on this one.
That strike, I'm sorry, non-strike was very important. That's a lead change. And now Jordan can step up and shut out McDaniel. Jordan went 7-5 during match play today. 2-4 this morning, and not that it didn't go completely well, but she certainly wasn't feeling it. Turned things around in the afternoon block, went 5-1 to secure the 3rd seed. Strike here, she's got a chance to shut out. And
Oh,
my goodness. Mercy.
That ball came hard off the spot. I'm very surprised that did not hit the 8-pin.
Stone cold 8-pin.
And we now have a tie game.
That is downright brutal. Boy, 33-34 giveth, and it taketh away. Well, now the situation is this, as you just said, Felicia. All 3 in the 10th from Jordan would force all 3 in the 10th from Melanie to tie at 226.
I was listening to Hope commentate earlier, and I'm like, I am nervous just watching them. My palms are sweaty.
Oh yeah, gets a little sweaty in the booth.
This is exciting. I mean, as spectators, we can.
By the way, just so you know, I get like a little fidgety when we get late in the match. So if you see me moving, don't be alarmed.
Meanwhile, I'm just sitting stick still.
First one, obviously important.
Gets a little wide, and she gets a break, tripping that 4-pin.
I heard the "Come on, Joe." Get your family and friends to our right here on the concourse. Well, the 28-year-old gets set to get married in 40 days' time. Fiance Frank Snodgrass, who I'm sure is watching, or he might be bowling right now. I'm not sure of the schedule in Coldwater. He will be here at some point tomorrow. This will force a double for McDaniel. And there it is. Clutch shot from Jordan Richard.
She knew that one off her hand, too.
Great shots, and of course, obviously, the ninth frame shot might even still be just a little bit better. That's how good that ninth frame shot was. Wants to win one more time as a Richard. Got that opportunity. A strike with force. Again, all three in the 10th from McDaniel to tie. Jordan. Yes.
Wow, that one went a little bit longer. It looked like.
So the stage is set for Melanie McDaniel, whose daughter Rylan often performs in dance recitals. It is now time for Mom to perform on the PWBA stage here at Thunderbolt Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan. Needs all three in the 10th to tie and force a sudden death roll-off. First one, push, crosses over, and McDaniel will fall to Jordan Richard. What a run by Melanie.
What a run indeed. That one just looked a little bit slower. It hooked more and earlier, unfortunately.
Two well-bowled matches for Melanie. One shot late, the difference, of course. But after she mentioned, she listened to the first show she was on last year, still didn't watch it. She went through a couple of different things, hadn't cashed, hadn't made a cut. And then she bowled extremely well. Very proud of the work she put in to get here mentally and physically. Worked on her physical game. And shout outs for Melanie, of course, to Ryan, husband, daughter Rylan, the Elite Youth Tour crew and staff, and of course the Bowl TV chat. Those are the shout outs for Melanie, and of course her mom and dad. 226 to 214.
$10,000 and the title of the 2024 PWBA Pepsi Open.
Next match coming up, the number 2 seed, Jillian Martin, the youngest to win a PWBA event 3 years ago at the 2021 Bowl TV Classic, the youngest to win the USBC Queens, which happened just a few months ago. This date has some significance. We'll tell you more on the other side, but first, a word from Storm, the leading manufacturer of high-performance bowling balls. Visit stormbowling.com to pick your next Storm bowling ball. And always remember to bowl up a storm.
What is it about bowling that captivates us so much? Mastery of the game is impossible, but perfection is just within reach. Success seems to lie 60 feet ahead, but the real battle takes place 6 inches between your ears. So if no matter how many times you fail, you would still do anything, and I mean anything, just to get 1% better. We know exactly how you feel.
Welcome back to the 2024 PWBA Pepsi Open Stepladder Finals. We are headed to our semifinal match. It will feature Jillian Martin, the number 2 seed, versus number 3 seed Jordan Richard. Just saw a fantastic match between Jordan and Melanie McDaniel, 226 to 214. Of course, the final tally as Richard will advance. We got another giveaway for you folks, and it's courtesy of Storm. Please make sure you click submit entry. Again, click submit entry, and if you're into full screen mode, quickly get out. You got a few minutes to do so, or a few seconds, I should say, to do so. Click submit entry, as Chris Pulliam has stated in the Bold TV chat. And of course, by virtue of Melanie McDaniel's loss, and she cannot obviously win the tournament, that means the field is now officially set for the Tour Championship. And Julia Bond can now breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh, I had completely forgotten about that
as
momentarily.
Well. Yes, and Julia said she was going to be here tonight to watch Jillian. Of course, assistant coach Julia Bond at Nebraska. Jillian, a current student athlete. Congrats to Steve Barry, by the way, a current student athlete at Nebraska. So she's going to be here nonetheless. Now, Julia, I mean, imagine what the emotions would have been like if Melanie had advanced to this match. She's got to watch Melanie bowl Jillian. And then, depending on the outcome, she's going to feel multiple
honestly,
ways. She don't have to worry about that
You
now.
never want to root against someone. That is the last place you want to be. And it's that's a hard place to be in. That's all I can say. Everyone works so hard out here and deserves all the things. So.
So Jillian Martin is set to take the floor. As you can see her at the bottom right of your screen there, talking about some items with tournament director Damon Sirocco. I think they were just kind of going over if she starts, how she finishes, or what lane, etc., and so forth.
Did you get a chance to talk to Jillian about what her strategy was going to be tonight?
Yes. Let me refer to my notes in regards to Jillian.
All right, Thunderbolt, here we go.
We should anticipate seeing her in a volatility torque. That's first and foremost.
Okay.
Her favorite bowling ball.
It is her favorite bowling ball.
We'll find out right now. Give these ladies a huge round of applause. Looks like Jordan's going to get us started.
So we anticipate Jillian to be in the volatility torque, as Jordan is going to start the match on the left lane. Gets that one immediately right, and a very good break in just a 2-pin for Jordan. Semi-final match.
Looked like she got pretty quick with that one on her feet. Just
take care of the opening spare. Meanwhile, Jillian Martin just now made 20 years old.
I was going to say, do you think she ever gets nervous?
That's a great question, to be honest, because it never really shows. You know, as athletes, obviously, there is always, you anticipate that level of nervousness, but how one shows it certainly is different, and it doesn't look like it very often.
You know, maybe she's just excited, but she never looks scared. Interesting.
First one through the nose, and the old interesting 8 count. The old 6-9.
Don't see that too often, do we?
No. Jillian, again, the number 2 seed from Stowe, Ohio. 2 wins, 2 event wins, of course, including the USBC Queens this year. Good spare. I mentioned before the break how this date has a lot of significance for Jillian. 3 years ago to the day, August 10th, 2021, Jillian became the youngest to win a PWBA event when she won the Bowl TV Classic at the ITRC. Last year, on this same date, she made the show at the same event in Waterloo, Iowa, the PWBA Pepsi Open, on the same day. August 10th is a very good date for Jillian, just like that shot was very good.
Auspicious indeed.
Excellent shot again from Jillian. Jordan wasting little time. Wow, she did not like it.
It's honestly amazing to watch Jordan bowl and see the number of shots that she doesn't like off her hand that flush the pocket.
What stands out for you watching Jordan? The many years now that you've gotten a chance to shoe up with and against her, certainly.
Number one's her raw power, how she generates power using her body. Her biomechanics are perfection. Big double there for Jordan. Biomechanics. That's interesting. And that's probably the wrong way to say that. For my friends who are in the osteopathy world or know anything about health and the body works, but
here's Jillian looking to match the double. Another one.
much better shot on that lane that time.
J. Mart, again, just turned 20. Two-time All-American, first-team All-American, University of Nebraska. Should be moving toward that junior season. It'll be coming up soon. That move-in date's coming up soon as well. I think last year she had about maybe a few days in between finishing the Classic Series and then going to Lincoln, Nebraska to move in. Hook. Wow. Okay. The two hands, of course, out there to thank the good people of bowling for the break there.
Just like didn't tip up quite enough.
Mentioned the volatility torque. She won her first title, the first event back in 2021 with a volatility torque.
Is it the same one? Or
no,
does she have multiple?
She said it's not the same one. She's got multiple. She also won the Queens with the volatility torque. She won one of her PBA junior titles with the volatility torque. And shot 300 at junior gold.
So I'm guessing that
with the volatility torque.
She would pay a lot of money for any blank volatility torques at this point in time.
As Richard now through the nose. 6-9-10 for Jay Rich. So the last two shots on the right lane. Of course, the first one struck, but she clearly didn't like it. And now this one kind of scoots through the face there.
She didn't quite look settled in this shot either, falling off the shot pretty quickly after she threw it there. So it's curious to see the difference in her and her execution in that shot versus that 10th frame when she was really solid and she knew him off her hand right away. So we'll see if she can just come back to herself.
Two-pin deficit for Jordan Richard. Fifth frame. And that's through the nose. She went to this ball, what is about halfway, we would say, through the McDaniel, or in the McDaniel match. And that certainly seemed to be the ball choice at the time. Rattle off 3 in a row immediately after making that change.
Now, there has been some practice shots, right, from both Jillian and...
Look out.
Spare balls did look like they were sliding a bit on this pattern compared to the first pattern, especially, which is odd for a 38-foot pattern versus a 43-foot pattern. But, yeah, seeing it skate that way, it didn't look like a bad shot off her hand and just didn't quite get to the 6-pin there.
Open frame for Jordan, and now the lead for Jillian is 15 as we start the 5th. Another one. Jillian's dad, John, in attendance. You may have just heard him.
Is that who that was?
Yes. For down lane, there's the trophy off to the right. Thank you again to our gold partners, Brunswick Kegel, Lane Talk Storm, and Go Bowling. Young Jillian Martin to make it 3 PWBA event wins. Shots like that will get her there.
Great shot there. I'd be curious to see if Jordan just moves left off those last 2 frames.
Big time double for Jillian Martin, and now Jordan stepping up with a 25-pin deficit. Largest deficit that Jordan has seen so far across a match and a half. Does she make the move or an adjustment? Still high, but it does look like she made maybe a subtle move, but at least a better shot overall.
I would agree. It just came off the spot so quickly. It was so angular. A high 4-pin.
Four-pin make for Jay Rich. This feels like a massive shot upcoming here for Jordan. Good break again. Talked to Jordan early, and she talked about what she had to do to get this thing done, and she went back to the match against Lauren Russo in Southern Indiana. She said, after that, she just realized it just comes down to just one really good shot at a time, and she realized she was kind of becoming more focused on kind of the outcome as opposed to what was happening in the process in that moment. It's so easy to get ahead of yourself and start thinking ahead. And so after that, she just wants to settle down, really, really take it, of course, one match, one shot, one frame at a time. Because obviously that match came down to one frame, one shot in the title match.
And which is interesting because she still bowled an exceptional game in that match against Lauren, so she was still executing really good shots there.
Jillian trying to take full control. That was left. Oh, and a break for the 20-year-old. She will look up to the sky. Oh, she got a break. I didn't get a chance to check the stat, but Jillian said she had been doing the math on the amount of events that she has bowled on tour. She said the number, this was her 16th event.
Oh, wow.
Including majors. She has made the show 7 times.
Out of 16 events.
Couldn't confirm it, but I believe her because it sounds about right.
It does sound about right. I'm actually surprised it's not more because you see her on the show almost every time she bowls, it feels like.
Got that one out more right. Yes, indeed. You see that hand for Jillian, the open hand to the right. It's almost like a staple of her game. Watch the shot. Oof. Now back to Jordan, now trailing by 46, and of course, she'll take it. She gets a smile. Looks towards the fam in their area. Jordan's max is 223. Jillian right now, her max is 269. Jordan in the RST X2. We'll take another light mixer. Every now and then, like I'd like to, we assume, right, based on player reactions, what they might be saying mentally in their heads as they return off the approach. So many things that we could try to say what Jordan was saying right there, but essentially, right, maybe weren't 2 of her best shots, but of course they carry. It's like bowling.
I have this motto that I live by, and I tell everybody who bowls and who I coach, and it's loose hand, loose swing carries everything. Whatever it is, you transfer more energy from your body, from your hand to the ball and to the pins, and as soon as you get a little bit tight, you want it just a little bit more. The pins know, And in that moment, Jordan looked very loose and very relaxed, and pins happen to fall her way.
That's got to be a staple of Happier You, right?
Maybe that should be a tagline. Yeah.
Another one for Jillian Martin. And this one is in the books. Jillian looking for another PWBA victory. She will face top seed Stephanie Zavala.
Now Jillian's going to also try a different ball here in the 11th.
Jay Rich will fast track.
Because with Zavala's look yesterday and today, it's going to be tough to beat. That optimum idle pearl just looked like it was vacuumed into the pocket every time. I bowled beside her. I watched her strike a lot.
.257 officially for Jillian Martin and Jordan Richard. She wanted to win one more time as a Richard. That's going to change in 40 days.
She still has another opportunity.
That is correct. Tour championship, 24 games to get back to another show. And she also hasn't won a major. That actually might even be more fitting.
Oh, that's so interesting. If she wins as Snodgrass, does she get another banner?
That's a great question for Robin Gray. We'll have to ask her about that because we assume that's going to happen, certainly in the future. Okay, folks. Quick look at the bracket here. Opening match: Melanie McDaniel defeats Brianna Cote 237-210. Jordan Richard took care of Melanie. What a match that was. 226-214. And as you just saw, Jillian Martin defeats Jordan Richard 257-223. Okay, our championship match is set. But I saw the gripes in the chat. Giveaways seem to be a little quick today. Okay. So I made a call. We're going to do one more giveaway. And
Who doesn't love a giveaway?
And I'm going to thank Storm. Thank you, Storm. One more giveaway, courtesy of Storm. It's on the screen now. Get out of full screen mode, please. If you are watching in full screen mode, get out of full screen, please, so you can see the lower...
Only for your benefit, of course.
The lower prompts, or the prompts on the lower left side of your screen. So, I said, all right, let's see what we can do. I'll give you one more giveaway, give you the opportunity to win a bowling ball one more time. Now, after this, I ain't got nothing else for you. Can't do anything else for you tonight, but I can help you right now. Felicia, while the giveaway is ongoing, briefly discuss, you just talked about Stephanie and her ball of choice and how she just obliterated pins, it seemed like, certainly during qualifying, specifically round 2 of qualifying, shooting 1541. Where do we see this going? Click submit entry, by the way. How far left do you think Stephanie needs to get to feel comfortable on this pair with one game to win a title?
How far left does she have to get? That's interesting. I wonder if she'll actually drive Jillian Martin a little bit further left. But, she's not playing that far left compared to where she normally plays. So where did that cross? Maybe 15, 16, 17. But if you look at Stephanie's game, it's more so the trajectory of where she's putting it. So even though she's crossing at 15, 16, 17, she's going all the way out there,
Giveaway almost complete. The reason I asked that question was a couple things. One, we just, where Jordan's traffic was, where Jillian is. And one of the things, actually the key thing for Stephanie Zavala was she moved further right, actually, in comparison to her round 1 of qualifying and round 2.
Oh, that's interesting.
She got too far left, got a little trapped, ends up kind of moving back right in increments, and then started essentially round 2 in the right spot with the ball that she ended round 1 with, and then went to town.
Yeah.
1541. Congratulations, by the way, to Jody Federhoff. And that's the same Jody. If it is, that is the head coach of Duquesne University. Shout out to the Duquesne Women's Bowling Program. Olivia Farwell must have had something to do with this, Coach Federhoff. We will take a small break. We'll step aside. Big thanks to the valuable USBC Gold partner, Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the United States Bowling Congress and the PWBA. Title match next on Bowl TV. The hug just in
All right,
front
Thunderbolt,
of our
here we go.
cameras.
The championship match. Stephanie looking for title number 6. Jillian looking for her second national win. Who is going to claim the crown and 10 grand? Let's give these ladies a round of applause. Looks like Jillian's going to get us started.
Jillian will start the match. It is the championship, PWBA Pepsi Open. Again, Jillian has already won on this date, August 10th, 2021. It was her first win, the youngest to become or youngest to win a PWBA event. Made the show on this very date last year in the very same event. And starts well.
It's actually really interesting to watch how differently they both attack the lanes. The volatility torque looks like it rolls earlier than that optimum idle, which gives Jillian more closed angles, if that makes sense. And Stephanie playing more open, her breakpoint further right with that optimum idle pearl.
3, 6, 9, 10 on the first shot for Stephanie Zavala.
Not exactly the spare you want to be throwing on your title match, but just like Melanie McDaniel here, better to open early. Not to say that she's going to open, it's just a very difficult spare.
Been a very popular bowling ball, of course. Getting word that she is throwing the pin-up version of that piece of equipment.
I like the choice with the spare ball on the 3, 6, 9, 10.
And the early chop for Zavala. Why do you like the choice to use the plastic ball at that spare?
Oh, you just take the lane out of play. You know, you have more variables in your own hands. You take variables out by taking the lane out of play. Especially in throwing 15-pound, you know, it's going to have the right kind of deflection to hit all the pins.
Let's see if Zavala can quickly rebound here. Looking for title number 6, 28 years old. We had 2 28-year-olds who are 5-time champions. We just saw one in Jordan Richard. Here's our other, and Stephanie Zavala, our number 1 seed tonight. Again, Zavala, 15-41 for 6 games during round 2 of qualifying.
And what is the 6-game record for a qualifying block?
1595 since the relaunch. That was the 3rd highest block, 6-game qualifying block thrown by Stephanie Zavala. Back to Jillian. The squeak of the shoe. The hand goes to the right. Perfection at its best.
Looks like she actually got that ball further right on that shot than the one on 33. I'm not sure if she was trying to play it that way or if that's just how it was executed on that shot. We'll find out.
Jillian went spare double to start her previous match. She did throw a 6-bagger, of course, and struck 8 times in total. Looking for an early 3-bagger. She didn't like it. Wow.
You don't think she liked that one?
The way the body moved, it was like,
Not sure. It did get further right on this one than the one in the first frame. So I can see what you're saying.
Felicia Wong, appreciate Felicia for joining me tonight. She is going to be bowling. She's got bonus bowling, as we like to say.
So much bonus bowling. It's so much fun.
Tour Championship begins tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Eastern. There's an early practice session. For those of you awake, we actually might stream practice there. Back to Zavala on this right lane. And boy, this one looks to be troublesome early on. And now 4, 6, 7. hard to tell if it looks like she's just not getting it to the spot she wants to down lane, or does she need to
It's
go pin
probably
down?
still a move left for her, maybe. Pin down also not a bad option, though, Emil. Get the ball a little longer down the lane, but also be smoother off the spot.
So the right lane clearly the early headache here for Zavala.
And she did choose to finish on the left lane, so she must have seen something in practice.
Anytime the Tour Championship is near, always think back to Zavala and just an incredible comeback after opening Tour Championship competition in 2021 with a game of 96.
Is that a low game record for PWBA
I don't know that
Tour
answer.
Championships?
Probably for that event, yes.
Okay, okay.
She's got 96 in game one. Great shot again on the left lane. And then game two shot 260 plus. I don't remember the exact number. And then, of course, went on to make the show. One of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
I would agree.
Left lane pure again. But with the right lane troubles and the way Jillian has been tossing it, it's clearly going to be difficult for Zavala. We know it can be done.
She's also another one of those bowlers, though, that when she needs it, she steps up. She gets those strikes, so wouldn't be surprised if she smashes the one on the right lane next time.
Early 54 pin lead, but now it's more. Make that 4 in a row for Jillian Martin.
She truly is a young phenom. I've never seen anything like Jillian. She's so calm and collected. Certainly at 20 years old, I was not. And so you can appreciate how much more impressive this is for her to be so... I don't know what the word is. What do you think the word is?
Good, great, excellent.
It's more. It's more.
Phenomenal.
Like just her mentality, her headspace, seeing how she interacts with other players and how humble she still is.
Looking for 5.
It's a pretty good shot off.
Bang. This one's got the feel. Obviously, you were on the show, of course, but the title match specifically, as Hope got off to a small, slow start, right? But Jillian, this is the start that Jillian got off to in the title match, and it just feels like, this is the type of player where when she throws the boom, boom, boom at you early, it's like that Mike Tyson type of knockout. She's got that ability.
You're going to be a little dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Zavala is a fighter, and she can punch back.
Oh, that was a good shot. Good adjustment. Close.
Zavala can take the hits. We know that based on the story I just told you. That's about as Mike Tyson as you can get by taking
You're almost knocked out.
a left hook, almost knocked out, dizzy, and comes back to nearly win the fight.
Yeah.
That's the type of player Zavala is. But she's got to get now a little bit of help, and of course she's got to start striking on the right lane. Perfect still on the left lane. Tim Mack, we talked about it with Stephanie. She joined us after shooting 1541 a couple nights ago. Tim Mack gave her a new nickname, Curveball.
Seems pretty fitting. I've never seen ball motion like Stephanie's on tour ever in my career of bowling.
When she has it, I mean, you can almost forget it. She's going to strike for days.
And when she doesn't have it, she just, that's gonna tip for her. 6-pin trip on a high shot. She does not look so excited about that. Let's see what she can do when she comes back.
Zavala, again, the 2021 Rookie of the Year, a 5-time champion, does have a major, the 2022 Tour Championship. Trying to win a title again in 2024, but Jillian Martin is trying to win another one here in 2024.
was actually wondering if we could play a fun game where we add up all of Jillian's points and see where she would have ended up in the
She'd probably, she'd be
player
there.
points.
And she'd be there for 6 in a row.
Got to push a little bit.
Bang. From Stowe, Ohio, Nebraska looking pretty good too. The women's bowling program.
How many years does she have left?
2.
And is she going to continue schooling after this? I know that's been a question.
That's good. It's a good question because she does have some goals. That would include grad school. Maybe. And a weak 10 there. Nice opening run for Jillian. I believe we saw perfection recently in a step ladder. I think Dave Sirigliano, PBA 50 South Shore Open. Shot 300. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Phoenix. That event was won by, of course, none other than John Janowitz.
Who seems to be on a tear as of always. When is he not on a tear?
Yeah, he's pretty good. Just like Jillian.
Just like Jillian.
Well, simply put, folks, I don't need to tell you that Stephanie Zavala's got work to do. Certainly, just to feel good about the right lane, she'd love to see all 10 go down. Because she would need, certainly, obviously, a ton of help at this point from Jillian. Right lane, maybe. Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
3, 4, 6, 7, 10. And Zavala now. As the frames start to unfortunately wither away. I know the entire Zavala family is watching. Hello to her parents. Often watch on Bowl TV. Her dad was certainly watching earlier today.
It's just so interesting to see how differently the lanes play on a stepladder final match versus qualifying versus match play. Every single shift is different because of who you follow and the number of players. And you never know. You can plan all you want. And when you get there, you've got to respond to each shot as you throw it and see what the lane is giving you. But this is not ball motion Zavala has had all this event so far.
No, and you, I mean, you described that perfectly. At the very least, when she didn't strike, she did leave makeable items, but clearly the right lane. And I go back to watching Jordan on the right lane now,
Right.
as well, and how that may have factored into what we're seeing. But what makes what Jillian is doing even more impressive with what she can do with her hand, as you eloquently described earlier.
And I wonder how much of it for Jillian is also subconscious. Like her body reacts to what she's seeing, and she doesn't have to consciously think, I'm going to get around it just a little bit more. I'm going to roll it just a little bit more. The other thing that's curious is that because Melanie was throwing so many shots with the urethane, you would have thought the ball motion would have gotten slower, but it did not.
J Mart, another one. And this one, folks, is mathematical, but now it is simply Jillian. Again, folks, for the second time, the third time making a show on August 10th, the second time winning on August 10th. If you want to go play the lottery, I suggest you do it right now. 810, pick 3. Go do it.
You know, I should maybe look up some Chinese numerology here.
And a trip 4 for good measure. When I talked to Jillian, I asked her what's it going to take for her today, and she said she's got to make consistent shots. She did say she knew she would probably need a big game in the title match to get it done based on, and I talked about specifically if you get to the title match, but the field in general, right? Whoever you bowl, it's going to be a difficult situation. And she said she probably felt like she was going to have to throw a big game, and a big game she has thrown. Great shot there from Stephanie Zavala. Certainly disappointing, but certainly I'm sure wanting to just get one on the right lane. It is we are watching, folks, in the midst of a young player, young phenom, as Felicia said, and Jillian Martin, who has yet to join us on this tour on a full-time basis.
Can you even imagine? She has every likelihood to win Rookie of the Year and Player of the Year.
Well, she's playing with our emotions right now. Because, you know, I'm sitting here in the media seat, right? I talked about this actually during the week. The fruition of this is simply amazing. You know, talking about players who you want to just fast forward their high school or collegiate careers because you can see the greatness. That's Jillian.
Just a little LeBron James in there.
Correct. We want to fast forward because we want to see her on a full-time basis. Obviously, she's about to do great things and already done great things at Nebraska, and what she may want to do, of course, post-college academically and professionally. But as a player, just thinking about it selfishly as someone who wants to watch great bowling all the time, I mean, Jillian is simply put amazing.
There's nothing quite to describe her, is there?
Not yet. Stephanie Zavala is going to get second, of course, but it does not define her week here. She was fantastic. She went 11-1 during match play. Again, folks, Stephanie went 11-1 during match play. She was undefeated tonight, during round 2.
Shooting plus 200 for the round.
14:02 for round 2 of match play. Jillian Martin was undefeated this morning. She went 10-2 overall to finish it out. You bet.
How many volatility torques do you think she has at home?
I don't know. But if I know Will Clark, and I do know him very well, there's a few put away.
I'd be collecting
for young
as I could.
There's a few available. And they're not available to the public.
Maybe petitioning for Storm to re-release that one. If I were Jillian, that's what I would do.
Yeah, listen, SPI products. You don't need more promotion than that. Jillian Martin, is this a clap situation? Should we just do
do the slow clap?
I don't know if we should do it.
Yeah, okay.
I would have done it if everyone else would have done it. I didn't want to just start and be that guy.
You could. Why don't you? You're a trendsetter, Emil. You got to own that now.
Martin. Bang. There it is. Jillian Martin.
With a 279.
Her third PWBA event. A major champion. Has won 2 additional titles. And now August 10th will forever live in the positivity, the positive of everybody's minds.
Should we name it Jillian Martin Day?
Jillian was ready. It's also National Bowling Day, too, by the way.
So well.
Hopefully everybody got a chance to go out and bowl a game today on National Bowling Day. We turn it over to Robin Graves with our champion, Jillian Martin.
All right, so Jillian, this is your second win this year. Third overall, you are the youngest person to win PWBA titles or just, national titles. How does it feel?
Amazing. I don't know, I'm still kind of in shock at that one, but just, it feels great, so grateful to be here.
I know, all of the experience that you're gaining, how do you translate that into your collegiate career, or any thoughts to joining the PWBA Tour early?
Well, I love my time at college, so I'm probably going to stay there because it's honestly just too good for me, and I love my teammates. But for me, I mean, coming out here, it's just really the learning experience and just kind of getting all that extra knowledge that I can take back to school with me, not only to help myself, but to also hopefully help my teammates.
Anyone you would like to thank?
I have a lot of people here, so my coach is here, my mom and dad are here, my grandpa's here, and Coach JB's here, and then my aunt actually came in, so just all of them for coming here and supporting me. So, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jillian Martin. Thank you all for coming out this evening. It's been a great week here at Thunderbolt. Tomorrow begins our final major championship of the year, the PWBA Tour Championship. The top 24 women this season are competing for their chance to claim a major and $50,000. Hope to see you all the rest of the weekend. Safe travels, and thank you for coming out.
Here's our final graphic, folks, and the champion's name has been added. Jillian Martin, the winner of the PWBA Pepsi Open. Again, we started with Melanie McDaniel in the opening match, defeating Brianna Cote 237 to 210. Then it was Jordan Richard, the number 3 seed, taking on Melanie, of course, who advanced. And Jordan defeats Melanie 226 to 214. Of course, don't go away. We will have Jillian Martin here in just a moment. Then Jillian seeing the lanes for the first time, 257 to 223. She defeats Jordan, and in the title match, Felicia Wong, 279 to 162. She shoots 257 and 279. 536 for 2.
Did I math that right?
it is absolutely unbelievable, bro. I mean, it's just, what do you really say? Well, we're going to ask her about it.
I don't know. We're going to ask. We get to ask all the questions, Jillian. No holds bar.
That's a 268 average. All right, welcome back into the booth, folks. We've got the champion here, Jillian Martin. Jillian, obviously, one of the things someone just wrote in the chat, 3 wins, not a member yet. Does this seem real at this point to you in your young 20-year-old life?
No, I mean, I was telling, even when I was out there, I was like, I'm still so shocked right now. I mean, I threw the ball really great that last game, and I don't know. I guess I wasn't necessarily expecting that to happen. I know it's a possibility, but at the same time, just crazy. So
the opportunity. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
No. I was just going to ask Jillian, what was your swing thought? What was your approach to each shot? You said you threw the ball really great in the last game. Did you also have the same method for the semifinal match going into the finals?
Yeah, so I felt like the first tournament out here, just some little physical things that were like off a little bit, and I felt like, I told Emil earlier, I felt like it really all clicked today, like this morning, and I've just kind of been trying to keep my shoulder a little bit more quiet rather than like pulling through, and just keeping my timing good. So every time I took a deep breath on the exhale, I would just kind of repeat my timing in my head to myself and then try to duplicate that and just feel it while I was on the approach.
I don't think you needed to try that hard. It worked out pretty well for you.
I'll take it.
So you mentioned the date to me before, August 10th. Now just lives in our livelihoods forever. I told people they should go out right now and go play the lottery. 8/10.
Yeah.
What does the date? Is it really the date, or is it just is what it is? But what is it about August? Do you love August? Is there something else we don't know about?
I don't know. I mean, it's right after my birthday, so we kind of got that going. And then I know Deandra.
It's National Bowling Day.
It is National Bowling Day. Happy National Bowling Day. Go bowl. But Deandra actually, after I won my first title, got me a bracelet, and it has 810 on it. And so I don't know. I think that's really cool, though, now, too, because now I have 2 different 810s. So I don't know. We're just going out here having fun. But I have to wear pink and black on 810. Otherwise, I don't win. I've learned that.
Do you have an 810 series?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Probably.
I don't think I have
You probably have too many 800 series.
No, I don't think I have one.
No. Well, you know what? We should go bowl another game right now, because do you know what you shot for 2 games?
I actually don't.
536.
Oh my gosh.
You shot 536.
Okay, well that was nice. Okay, I didn't know that.
Let me ask you this too, because as we discussed, and I talked about the field, and I said no matter what, if you get there, you have to bowl someone tough. And you mentioned I'm probably going to have to bowl a big game. Obviously, that's what you did. What about the field or this pattern suggested that, all right, I know that I'm going to have to go out there and put up a few strikes at least to try to take home this win tonight?
There were just a lot of big scores throughout match play. I know I told you I felt really consistent through match play, and it allowed me to gain pins, but I was still, like, you could shoot 220 and you could still lose pins at some points. And so I made the joke to Stephanie earlier. I was like, good bowling. Like, I would look up at the screen and I was down however many on her, and I was like, oh, I just shot 240. I might gain something. And then it's like she gained 20 pins on me. And I was like, for her to be able to do that was incredibly impressive. But like I told you, I just knew that to be able to win against the top 5 in this field, I was going to go out here and have to shoot some big scores, and I did. So,
just curious, did you, from the lane play perspective, did you see anything from the urethane perspective that Melanie was using? Did you see anything that may have affected you? It clearly looked like it didn't, but I'm not sure if you made a move and maybe you saw something and you quickly got ahead of it.
for me, I was making consistent small moves throughout the match, especially I thought the right lane was hooking a little bit more, so I would need to make sure I kept getting in and in on that lane. And I think that really helped me, especially in that last game. I think we saw Stephanie's ball start to hook and pick up pretty early. And so I just kind of try to stay consistent with those moves and trust myself throughout them all. And that could have been because of the urethane. I'm not totally sure where Melanie was, but depending on how it affected the front part of the lane. As far as down lane, I think it gave me some hold, so no complaints there.
All right, Felicia, I'll give you the last question.
Ooh, the last question.
Make it good.
You put me on the spot, you know? I don't know. It's we don't meet many people like you. I've never met anyone like you. I always talk about your demeanor and your presence, how well-spoken you are. You are mature far beyond your years that I could ever have imagined. How do you think that helps you when you bowl?
I think just my ability to put things in perspective helps me to kind of take things one shot at a time, if that makes sense. So I just feel like I know where I kind of have this level of acceptance where it's like, if for some reason I go out here and I bowl terrible and I don't win and I don't do whatever, I know at the end of the day, my friends still love me, my family still loves me, everything's still going to be okay. And I think that really gives me power because it's like, even at the worst outcome, it's still okay. So just go out there and do everything you can do to be your best, and no matter what happens, it's going to be good. So
that is well said and spoken like a true champion. Congratulations again for the third time, Jillian Martin, a champion and a winner on the PWBA Tour. Congrats again, Jillian. When is move-in day, by the way?
We're actually leaving 5 a.m. tomorrow to try to get to Nebraska.
There you go.
So, yeah, and also I forgot to say it, so thank you to all my beautiful sponsors, Storm, Turbo, I Am Bowling, everyone, Magnum Bowling Products. I love them all, and they help me go out here and do things like this.
And if you got any stock in Volatility Torques, I suggest you
let
put it
me
in
know.
there right now.
Let me know.
Or if Storm wants to re-release the Volatility Torque, I think
You guys should do that.
she's
I'll buy
working real
all
hard.
of them.
Thank you, Jillian. Safe travels to school.
Thank you.
That is Jillian Martin. As we get you back to the bracket, we'll let Jillian step aside. She's got a little bit more, of course, media to handle. And Felicia and I will jump back in and close the show out for you. All right, folks. Wow, what a stepladder final. Congratulations again to Stephanie Zavala, our runner-up tonight. And she bowled well, obviously, throughout this Pepsi Open. That goes without saying. So did Jordan. So did Melanie as well. I mean, it was a phenomenal show from top to bottom, as did Brianna Cote. I think every player that certainly made the show earned that right. We saw some special performances, and obviously in Jillian's 2 matches, she showed not only who she is, certainly, and where she's going. Your final thoughts on what we saw tonight?
Honestly, you can't get to a stepladder finals in a PWB event without phenomenal bowling and everything aligning with what you're doing and your ball play and your execution and your mental approach, right? Jillian could not have said it better when it took me a long time as a player to learn that bowling is not my identity. So if I have a poor performance, it does not define who I am as a person. It does not define who I am as a bowler. It doesn't make me a bad bowler. And when you can have that kind of an attitude, she described it so well. She's like, it gives me a lot of power, right? So remembering that we're out here and why we're out here, and we're doing it because we love it. And you can see that so clearly on a champion's face, not just because they won, but because they're enjoying the moment while they're doing it. So
Absolutely. And before we go off the air, of course, one reminder that Jillian not eligible for the Tour Championship because she is not a member. As you just heard her say, she's leaving at 5 a.m. To make the trip to Lincoln, Nebraska to begin the move-in process. School is starting very soon. And also, as a reminder, because Melanie McDaniel did not win tonight, that means Julia Bond got the 24th spot into the Tour Championships. So she is in. One quick thing, I'll read them all. Jane Sin, in order, by the way. Or I should say not in order. This is not including everyone's final positions.
Okay.
So let me just read the players, and there might be some small order changes, especially near the bottom. Jane Sin, Shannon Pluhowski, Sherry Tan, Verity Crawley, New Way Finn, Dasha Kovalova, Brianna Cote, Jordan Richard, Crystal Elliott, Kelly Kulik, Lindsay Boomershine, Diana Zavyalova, Stephanie Johnson, Lauren Russo, Stephanie Zavala, Aaron McCarthy, Liz Colkin, Hope Gramley, Josie Barnes, Maria Jose Rodriguez, Summer Jasmine, Ashley Galante, Felicia Wong, and Julia Bond. Those are the 24 players who will compete for the final major of the season. That begins tomorrow night. There is a practice session for those players in the morning. I think we might actually bring that to you. We'll be here. We got some stuff to do and shoot tomorrow. But actual competition begins 8 games of match play round 1 at 5 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow right here on Bowl TV. Thank you so much. Great job on such short notice. I really appreciate it. We appreciate you, and I think the audience. I don't think you've seen any comments.
I did not see any comments.
But they were very positive toward one Felicia Wong.
You know, it's pretty nerve-wracking to get in front of a camera, but here we are, and we'll just flow with it.
Well, you did great, and I appreciate you. Thank you to Patrick Martinez tonight on the 1s and 2s. Thank you to our entire crew, Leah Zweig, Ben Glasscock, Curtis Von Kruger, Parker, Donovan. Parker was money today with the points and the scenario, so big shout out to Parker and Ben for simplifying our spreadsheets of such as well. Thank you to our tournament staff, of course, Robin Graves, Damon Sirocco, everyone here at Thunderbolt Lanes. We are not done this week. Back with you tomorrow. Again, Tour Championship begins right here on Bowl TV. Thank you to the United States Bowling Congress and the Bowling Proprietors Association and their respective boards. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA and the United States Bowling Congress. The wonderful PWBA athletes. What a phenomenal job. What a stepladder final we saw today. And certainly you, the Bowl TV community. We certainly couldn't do it without the best fans in all of bowling. That's going to do it for us. For Patrick Martinez, Felicia Wong, my name is Emil Williams Jr., Jillian Martin, a champion again 3 times. She's 20 years old and not even a member. She's going back to college tomorrow, folks. Look out for the University of Nebraska this season. This has been a presentation of the 2024 PWBA Pepsi Open. You watched it live and only on Bowl TV. And remember, bowling lives here. Good night.